Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of AdMail. This is Bergman, founder and CEO of IRA Financial. I'm here to help you find the answers to the most frequently asked questions from my clients about self-directed retirement accounts. If you want to learn more, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. Just search IRA Financial. Hey everyone, Bergman here, tax attorney and founder of IRA Financial, and welcome to another episode of AdMail. Three great questions for you, like always, on today's podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you. If you are listening, appreciate it. Obviously, this is a weekly podcast. It drops every Thursday. So if you're interested in learning more about various self-directed retirement topics and like to listen to me or watch me, then this is your podcast. So without further ado, let's get right into it today. And first question is from Oliver P. of Silver Springs, Maryland. And Oliver wants to know, I have an inherited IRA. Can I do a Roth conversion? This is actually pretty simple. It's a good question. Not a simple question, but there's a simple answer, and it's no. Unfortunately, when you have an inherited IRA from a non-spouse, you can't do anything with it. You got to keep it in the form it's in, and you just have to take distributions accordingly based off a life expectancy table, because the IRS still doesn't have finalized Treasury regulations from Secure Act 1.0 all the way back in 2019 for how non-spouse folks should take inherited IRA required minimum distribution. So we're still off the old rule pre-Secure Act. So the answer is no, you can't even move it to 401k. It has to stay in the inherited IRA pre-tax world. If the IRA is from a deceased spouse, then you can actually move the IRA into your name, right? Because it's a spousal inherited IRA. It can be moved to the surviving spouse's name, and then they can do a Roth conversion or even move it to a 401k. But it's only when you have a non-spouse situation that you are basically relegated to the status it's in. Question two from Jerry K. of Roslyn, New York. Jerry wants to know, I want to invest in a real estate fund and my son will be a general partner, but we'll own less than 2% of the limited partner interests. Can I make the investment? So wonderful question, Jerry. I think I spoke with you, I don't know, maybe a week ago or so. It wasn't you, it was someone that had pretty much the same question. So the way a general real estate fund is you have, if it's a limited partnership, you have a general partner that basically is the manager and gets the carry and the management fee, and then you have all the LP investors. Okay, so generally the way it's going to work is I assume the son is going to be the GP, they get the management fee and the carry, and then the dad's coming in as an LP. And since the son has less than 50% of the LP interest, because the GP is pretty much going to have just a carry interest, it's not going to actually have limited partnership interest. The entity is not disqualified because it's owned less than 50% by disqualified people, assuming there's no other family members that own more than 50% of the LP. So in this case, Jerry, yeah, the investment could be made. Even though the son is a manager, the interests are less than 50%, so the entity is technically not disqualified. Now, some things you want to consider. Obviously, you want to make the investment to benefit the IRA. You don't want to make this investment to help your child. So if you can, try to carve out no management fees. If possible, it may not be possible based off the terms of the document, but you want to be able to show that, I'm assuming your LP interest is going to be quite small. It seems like it's a big fund. You want to be able to show that the IRA is making the investment to help the IRA. It's not being done to help your son raise a fund. The money that is going to be either received by management fee or carry purposes is not needed, meaning you're pretty much an immaterial investor, just a rank and file investor. And whether you invest or some other person, there's options, right? If you're the last person standing, the only one left, and your son needs that money or the fund goes under, not a good fact. But if you could show there's investors out there that would gladly take your spot, and you're just using your IRA to make the investment because it's a good investment, think it's going to do well, your son's compensation's not going to be based off this investment at all, which seems based off the fact that it's going to be a small interest, I assume, you're probably okay. But make sure, obviously, you're under 50%, and those factors I mentioned, you want to be able to satisfy them and make sure that if the IRS knocks on your door, that you feel comfortable that you can prove that the IRA investment is being done to 100% exclusively benefit the IRA, and there's no indirect self-dealing or a conflict of interest. And the third and final question of today's podcast, JN of West Palm Beach, Florida. Jay wants to know, I made an investment into a real estate syndication with personal funds. How can I transfer the investment to my IRA? Oh man, Jay, if I got $1 or $100 every time I got this question, I'd be a rich guy. It may not be possible, right? It all depends on the terms. If it's already a locked-in investment, you put 100K in this deal, the investment's kind of locked up, the interest is already being paid, or the tax return's already been filed, I think you're out of luck, dude. I don't think there's anything you can do. But if you just made this investment, recently, then what you can do is you can have the fund send you back to 100K personally, and then just redo the investment in the name of your IRA, kind of as a separate investor. And as long as there's no self-dealing, conflict of interest, it's just, hey, I made this investment a week ago, a day ago, a month ago. Just pull it back, give it to me personally. There's no tax return filed, no interest paid, nothing's happened. And I'm just going to redo this investment in my IRA. I think you're probably okay. As long as you close the other investment, but you want to get the cash back, right? You want to get that money back, close out that personal investment, and then do a new investment with new documentation in the IRA. And I think you're okay there. Again, assuming you have no control issues, there's no disqualified people involved. I think in that case, Jay, you're good. But depending on the facts, it may not be possible, right? Especially if, as I mentioned, a return's been filed or money's already been paid to you personally, or you just don't have a good relationship with the manager and they're not willing to do it. You may be out of luck, and you just may have to wait for the next opportunity to use your IRA in a different type of real estate syndication deal. So that's it. 3 great questions. Thank you, Oliver, Jerry, and Jay. Got really, really good questions coming up. So look out for future AdMail podcasts. If you got a question, send them in. You can leave a comment in the YouTube channel, IRA Financial, comments under a podcast. I actually look at them. I read them and I get back to those people that are asking questions, as quick as possible. You can also send an email to info@IRA Financial. Just say AdMail or Ask Adam, and it gets to me. I got a lot of questions in queue, but sometimes I play around with the line. And if I get a good question, like Jerry's one that actually I thought was really relevant, because there's a lot of interest in doing, various real estate deals with sometimes family members are involved, kind of push that one to the top. But otherwise, I'll get to you. It may take a month or so, but I'll get to you. And if you keep listening or watching, you will hear your question and you'll get an answer. Even if you're not a client of IRA Financial, don't sweat it. Feel free to send it in. It's free, right? You'll get a tax attorney, me, to give you the correct answer. So thanks again for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. I know there's a lot of better things you can do with your time, but hopefully you learned something from today's podcast or video. And that, at the end of the day, the name of the game is to all learn from each other. So happy I'm able to share some insight. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I will chat with everyone again next week. Take care.